Driver than me.
I've put together this video. It's going to be a complete guide on how you can become a taxi driver. So you can work for rideshare companies like Uber or simply work for a local base. In this video, we're going to be covering the qualifications needed, key skills needed, how you obtain a taxi driving license, salary expectations, and how to apply for Uber. I've sectioned this video into categories to make it easier for you to navigate back and forth so that you can rerun certain parts that you may need to cover again.
Part 1. What is a taxi driver?
A lot of people will already understand the basics of what a taxi driver is. Taxi driver is a professional driver who transports passengers to any destination required effectively and as safely as reasonably possible. They can work for a fixed fare or charge variable fares based on the distance, the journey time, the time of day, and other variable factors. Most of the time, the driver who works for a local firm or for Uber won't have the ability of any of that, but you will be able to check that you're getting paid the appropriate amount that you're happy with. Taxi drivers also have other names: mini cab driver, black cab driver, livery driver, hackney carriage driver, and more commonly known as private hire drivers. Taxi drivers may be employed or contracted to work for a local firm or council. Alternatively, you can have a self-employed taxi driver that will undertake work as a private contractor. In the majority of cities around the UK, any driver that carries a passenger in return for payment must be registered and licensed by the local authority. That means all that times you give your friend £5–10 to take you around the shop or wherever, you're not actually allowed to do that.
Part 2. What does taxi driving involve?
Taxi drivers perform a number of different tasks. These can include providing transport for passengers in a clean, comfortable, safe, and secure environment, completing pre-booked journeys or collecting passengers at the designated pickup points, undertaking driving on demand and door-to-door basis, ensuring all cab journeys are metered and the correct tariff, accepting payments from cash, card, contactless, and of course from app payments such as Uber. On occasions, it may be required that you reasonably help someone with their luggage. For example, putting the suitcases in your boot, helping someone with the shopping in and out of your car. Now, you don't always have to have your own car to be a taxi driver. A lot of local firms and bases will actually supply you them, of course, at a cost. To be honest, guys, if you're brand new to this and you're unsure what you're doing, before you go out and you get yourself in a lot of debt for a finance car or buy a car, I would strongly suggest that you look into hiring one from either a local firm or local base. I've previously already posted a video on buying cars or renting cars and comparing the prices. Keep in mind that the numbers in there are fabricated. They're not exact numbers, but you'll be able to use that system to figure out which is best for you. Again, I'll stress, if you're new, just rent one for a bit and see if this profession is even for you.
Part 3. What are the benefits of becoming a taxi driver?
Being a taxi driver can be a very satisfying job, and it's well suited to individuals who enjoy meeting people and driving every day. It's a very flexible way of working, which makes it an ideal career for either someone who wants a full-time job, part-time job, or even a side hustle. Other benefits that include in being a driver is you get to pick your own hours, come and go when you please. Obviously, there's a drawback to it that you have to be out when it's busy. There's no point going out midday when it's quiet and everyone's where they want to be. You gain massive experience in driving. Every day you're doing it for 8 hours plus. You'd also gain experience in maintaining your vehicle. You get to learn about your city and see sites that you may not normally see where tourists are asking you to go. Old buildings, massive beaches and parks and things like that. So it's very rewarding that way, as in you get to see a lot of your city. You're not just stuck behind a desk. You also receive constant work all the time from your operator, making it very profitable on some days. When a customer asks me, what do I enjoy about being an Uber driver? I say, you never know who you're going to meet, what conversations you're going to have, where you're going to end up. And I always cheekily throw in, or what tips you're going to get.
Part 4, Salary Expectations and Working Hours for Taxi Drivers.
The national annual salary, on average, for a taxi driver, Uber driver, anything you want to call yourself regarding it, is around £27,000 a year. But let's be honest, there's a lot of factors to take into account with this. How many hours you work, how much your gross take is compared to your net profit. All this needs to be taken into account. Obviously, if you're doing Uber in a busy city like Manchester or London, then you're going to have busier opportunities, more events happening there, such as football, rather than being a taxi driver in a rural place where there mightn't be as much going on. All this has to be taken into account, but you have a lot of bills and expenses. The easiest way to work it out is work out how much it's costing you per hour. And once again, here's one I prepared earlier. I've made a video that will help you determine how much it's costing you per hour to be a taxi driver. This will help you with your targets so you can figure out how often and how much you have to work. Every single person is different. Fuel cost, contract phone cost, commission you pay, car wash, it's all different. But this video will help you work out how much it costs you per hour. Using them examples, you'll be able to figure it out. Once you figure out how much it costs you per hour, you will need to figure out how many hours you have to work to sustain a career as a taxi driver. For most people, the average hours is between 40 to 60 a week.
Part 5, Steps to Obtain a Taxi Driver's License.
First thing you need to do is look up your local council, find out their contact number, give them a call and make an appointment. While you're waiting for an appointment date and you're on the waiting list, there's a couple of things that you could tick off. So the council is going to require you to have a UK driving license. You must have held this for 12 months in most councils. Some of them it may be longer. Then you've got to undertake some taxi training. You require MVQ. There's 2 MVQs. There's MVQ level 2, which is called level 2 certification in road passenger vehicle driving, taxi and private hire. There's another one called level 2 certificate in the introductory to the role of a professional taxi driver and private hire drivers. These are 2 MVQs that's required by your council. Also, what's required by your council is a DBR check, which is a security background check on you to make sure you don't have any high criminal records. Certain things they may overlook, but bigger things you will instantly get refused to have a taxi license. You'll need a medical assessment. The council will give you the form, which you can take to any doctor that's got access to your NHS records, and they can fill it in for you. Fairly straightforward. Then the council will arrange a date for you to come in and take a knowledge test. Some councils will require you to have an English language assessment. Now, if all that seems a bit overwhelming for you, there is a light at the end of the tunnel because many of the local base firms offer courses and training and hold your hand and do it step by step, right the way up to when you obtain your license. These guys are helping you on the premise that you go to work for them once you've obtained your license. But keep in mind, you're self-employed. There's nothing stopping you from using one of their courses to obtain your license and then working for any operator you desire. I know this might sound a little unethical, but at the end of the day, it's entirely up to you which operator you work for.
Part 6. Key skills needed by taxi drivers.
I don't know how many times a passenger, a rider, has said to me, all you are is a taxi driver, or all you do is drive all day long. It's quite degrading. But I'm going to myth bust it right now. You do require skills to be able to be a private hire driver. It's not just driving around people. You've got to have the ability to work under pressure. Having a customer in the back, wanting to get to the destination fast, working with congested roads, and a responsible driver. Safety is absolute paramount when you're ferrying people around. So you need to ensure you're driving safely all the time. You need to have good verbal communication skills. Clear and effective communication is important when you're interacting with the passengers. A well-developed navigational skill. Yeah, we all have GPSs these days, but when they fail or go wrong, you'll have no choice but to work on your own knowledge of the city. You need to have basic maths and computer skills. You need to be able to quickly do maths to give people the correct change if you're dealing with cash. You need to be able to use your computer so that you can work out your spreadsheets. And of course, you have to have excellent attention to detail so that you can recall routes, remember routes, landmarks, know where you are, and punctuality. You need to be able to have the skill to be punctual all the time. You need to get from A to B as quick as possible and then get to your next ride. The quicker you're doing that, the quicker you're making money. It's not just, all you do is drive.
Part 7. Signing up for Uber.
This is the easiest part of all. Uber's made it so simple. Simply go onto their website or download the uberdriver app and register on it. Once you've registered on it, you'll be required to submit some documents. Now, if you've followed all these steps, you should have the documents already. So the first thing they'll ask you for is your national insurance number. Now, from the beginning of this year, 2024, it's being stipulated that Uber need to submit your earnings straight to HMRC. You need your DVLA check code, which you can get from the DVLA website. You'll also need, obviously, your driving license, a picture of it. You'll need a bank statement. You will also need your private hire license, your paper, and plastic badge. For your vehicle logbook, your vehicle insurance, and your vehicle test MOT certificate. Submit all them via the app, via photographs. Then you'll make an appointment with the Green Light Hub. You don't have to go to your closest one. If there's appointments available in a different city, that's an earlier time, you can make an appointment there and go along with all of them documents. They will go through all the documents with you. You'll have to do a brief training exercise online. And then once you've completed all of that, you will then be able to press your go button and start earning money.
Part 8. About this YouTube channel.
This channel's been set up to try and help you as much as I can, being a private hire driver, in particular one for Uber. It's got multiple videos to help you along the way, such as how to set up spreadsheets for your costs, subjects you need to avoid, and things like that. One of the main videos that will be coming is ride-along videos where you see breakdowns of hourly earnings I do on any particular day, especially when there's events. If you do like this channel, or you've enjoyed this video, or even if it's helped you a bit, then please give us a like so the YouTube algorithm will send it out to more people and it will hopefully help them too. And of course, give us a subscribe. Catch you in the next video.